And we're back here on Talking Law TV with our last segment, and we have on the show tonight candidate for governor Eric Johnson.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I am great.
Awesome.
So it's been a while since I've seen you. Lots happened.
I'm virtually living in Atlanta these days.
I know.
Even though we're neighbors, we hardly ever see each other.
I never do. I met you many years ago when your wife and I worked together starting the cellular telephone business in the area. And you were an architect or an engineer at Hussey, Gay & Bell?
That's correct.
And how does, and I just want to get to this, how has being an architect and your training in that prepared you for the world of politics?
It's great training, because an architect's trained to take a client's vision and turn it into reality. So to good listeners, then make a plan and then execute that plan. And particularly with Georgia's infrastructure needs, which is critical to getting people back to work and creating jobs, I know how to build things. I mean, build roads, build the reservoirs and the water treatment plants that we need, build schools. That'll get the hard hats back to work, and that'll start they'll be buying cars and buying TVs and buying houses. Yeah,
so I'm going to give you a chance to talk about your platform. So number one, what's the most important thing that you want to see Georgia change that's not being done now?
Well, we need to put all other issues aside and dig our way out of this economy and put Georgians back to work. I mean, we're talking about doing more infrastructure, more long-term planning. Too many politicians of both parties look ahead just to the next election or the next headline and aren't looking to the next generation. So a longer-term vision would help us avoid the water and the traffic and the transportation and infrastructure problems that we have. Moving more into an entrepreneurial economy, a 21st century global economy. That I still want manufacturing. I still love Gulf Streams of the world, but attracting people, the next inventor of Google and Facebook. That's where I think Georgia needs to go, and we've got great assets in place with higher education, so focusing on entrepreneurs too. And
do we want to get some of those industries out of the Atlanta area and the rest of the state?
Well, I think that's going to happen just by necessity as growth and infrastructure gets stressed in the Atlanta area. But as governor, I want jobs in Georgia, and if the company wants to be in Atlanta, I'll get them in Atlanta. If they want to be in Savannah, we'll get them in Savannah. So I don't want to pick and choose sides. What we see already, I mean, some companies want to be on the coast near the port, some want to be in South Georgia near Pine Tree, some want to be in Atlanta near the airport. So I don't want to pick and choose. Jobs are jobs.
Okay, and usually the next thing is always education.
Well, before the situation we got in now, our issue was education. We have one of the best universities and technical schools in the country, but our K through 12 system is 47th, 48th. I believe in
thank God for Mississippi and South Carolina.
Putting into place education choice, what I call the early hope scholarships, what some people call vouchers, and letting people take a portion of their own tax dollars and putting their child in the best school for that child, public or private, secular or religious, will skyrocket us up the educational rankings and create the intellectual capital that we need to be competitive in the 21st century global economy.
Yeah, I think that's a huge idea, because it's funny that when you watch or read rather about the expense per student in some counties, and it's higher than the very best private school, and yet their SAT scores are half.
We spend $10,500 average in this state on a K through 12 child. The average private school tuition is $6,500. Most of that is in the bureaucracy. Private schools don't have huge bureaucracies like public schools have developed, and I want to shift, even within the public school system, I believe we can shift more money out of the administration and bureaucracy and into the classroom, so we can spending more on education while still lowering expenses in these tough budget times.
Okay, and then usually third is crime.
Right. Well, public safety is the primary purpose of government, and one of the biggest fears I have with the cutbacks that we've been forced to do to balance our budgets without tax increases at the state level is cutbacks in public safety, and that as money comes back in, that's got to be our top priority. To make sure that we're building the prisons and getting them off the street and into the jails, and the judicial process is humming along again. It's been cut back during these budget crises. I mean, we're having difficulty putting gas in the state patrol cars right now. So as the economy comes back, that's got to be one of our highest priorities.
Yeah. Well, what's your view on alternative sentencing? Because we just can't keep building jails forever.
Well, somebody once said that jails ought to be for those people that we're afraid of, not that we're mad at. And we need to do a better job, and that really starts with the prosecutors and the judges of putting the people in the right environment to protect us primarily, and then hopefully to redeem the criminal and make them tax-paying citizens again.
Okay. There's got about a minute left, so I'll let you pick the fourth one.
Well, we've got to still focus on ethics too, and we got to make sure that government is clean, it's hardworking, and that there's no special interests aren't getting in the way of broad economic development. You know, I don't want politicians worrying about their jobs. I want politicians worrying about the people's jobs.
And how does that differ from the way maybe some of your opponents are seeing everything?
Well, and I don't think that elected officials are any more corrupt than any other group out there. But we can still tighten it up and make sure that those that are bad, like paying taxes, are paying their taxes too, or they're removed from office.
Okay. And when's your primary date?
July 20th.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for being on the show. Hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Talking Law TV. You can catch us on your smartphone at m.talkinglawtv.com, the regular website, talkinglawtv.com. If you have a question for any of our attorneys, dial 888-203-7-LAW. Thank you and good night.